Minister of Education gives updates on the coronavirus and the new norm of distance learning. Director of NRPB explains the aim of the integrated social registry system. And Prime Minister gives an update on the Kingdom relations front. And those are the headlines for Wednesday, October 28, 2020. Good evening, viewers. This is SXM Daily News. I'm Valerie Van Putten. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. And as usual, we have a full newscast for you, so let's get started. In our first story, Prime Minister of St. Martin, the Honorable Sylvania Jacobs, speaking at the Council of Ministers' weekly press briefing this morning, gave an update on the Kingdom relations front and the developments on the conditions and application of the second tranche from the Netherlands. The Prime Minister said that there seems to be some light at the end of the tunnel.
As everyone knows and may be anxious to know, the latest on the Kingdom relations front, as there has been quite some developments over the past week or weeks, which have been well documented in the media. The island of Curacao has expressed their acceptance publicly to the Caribbean Reform Entity, recently renamed by them, the OHO. Additionally, there have been ongoing discussions with Aruba, and it is reported that an agreement may also be closed on that front. In St. Martin's case, however, there has been, while there has been some developments, from my understanding, as has been updated by the Minister of Finance, we are finally seeing the light at the end of the tunnel with the CFT on the interpretation and application of the conditions for the second tranche. This is indeed a positive note, as this means that the Netherlands will be open to have further talks and negotiations, hopefully, regarding the much publicized conditions for the third tranche. As you may know, in early August, we attempted to start these discussions on the conditions for the third tranche with the Netherlands by submitting our comments on the main points of contention: how the Kingdom law could be adjusted to bring it more in line with our local legal framework. However, that was flat out refused by the Netherlands, citing that we had not met the conditions for the second tranche and that it was too far from what they had proposed on July 10th, and that we would not be having any discussions until we had finalized the conditions for the second tranche. This, of course, has raised many questions on St. Martin, has also, let's say, sent questions my way or statements my way that St. Martin should continue to have negotiations and discussions, while that has always been St. Martin's stance. But the questions raised now, clearly even after the discussions in Curacao, and hearing that they had also not met all the conditions for the second tranche, as to why St. Martin was not able to continue to have discussions related to the third tranche, so related to the Kingdom Consensus Law, the memorandum of the explanatory note, as well as the landspakketten, the country packages, while Curacao has been able to do so and has come to some agreements, even though we have not heard what those agreements officially are. In any event, St. Martin continues to look forward to a positive response from the Netherlands regarding the opinion of the CFT on our filling in of the second tranche conditions, and we continue to prepare our documentation for the start of said consultations, negotiations, towards coming to an amicable, open and honest discussion and solution for the people of St. Martin.
In other updates, the Prime Minister said that she has been seeing some headway with discussions with the CCSU Secretariat. On October the 22nd, the Prime Minister held a very positive meeting with the Secretariat of the Civil Service Union, and she expounded more.
Also, in other updates, we have been seeing some headway with discussions with the CCSU Secretariat. Last Thursday, October 22nd, I held a very positive and successful meeting with the Secretariat of the Civil Servants Union, CCSU, formerly KOA, And as per Article 112B of the LMA, the organization allows for a committee consisting of trade unions that had been designated as representatives. The explanatory memorandum explains further that the consultation committee serves as a representation of the interest of civil servants working for the government of St. Martin. So after having several, let's say, clarification of misunderstandings over the past few months, it is clear that both parties are willing to work together to come to amicable solutions. And after some, let's say, homework has been done in terms of ensuring that the CCSU is properly, let's say, has their membership in order, not just the members, the unions, but the secretariat, which is the purview of the Minister of General Affairs. Hopefully, we will be able to meet with them soon to reinstate the discussions and get the process moving for the negotiations related to the cost-cutting measures. This is very, very important moving forward, and it is the pledge of this government to sit at the table, all concerned, to resolve all pending, let's say, points of contention.
In other news, Minister of Finance, the Honorable Artwell Irion, gave an update this morning at the Council of Ministers' weekly press briefing on the St. Martin National Workforce Development Program, and he also gave more information about the meeting that he will be having with the CFT.
I have two brief comments. The first one will be in regards to the St. Martin National Workforce Development Program. I'm very happy to announce that we had 1,200 persons joined and 1,000 already enrolled in the program. I believe this shows a lot of enthusiasm, and this is a good sign that our population has a hunger for knowledge and understand that COVID-19 probably has changed the way we live forever, and they are preparing for life after that. 1,200 in the last 2 weeks is a very, very good sign, in addition to the 200 civil servants that we have signed up already. Yesterday, we sent the CFT Secretariat our final calculations in regards to the conditions for the 12.5%, the 25% for political authorities, the 130% for the Jacobs norm, and the Ministry of Finance is busy with the legislation for the Jacobs norm and the legislation for the government-owned companies. We believe with this, we could soon hear back positive feedback from the CFT once the board has gotten it. And in addition to that, we have an upcoming meeting with the CFT on Friday. And during this meeting, we hope to, in addition to that, get an update on the calculations and conditions that were sent in.
And still to come, Chamber of Commerce has positive meeting with Airport on the involvement of local companies in the rebuilding process. We'll have the details to that story and much more when SXM Daily News returns.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
Welcome back, viewers. You're watching SXM Daily News, and I'm Valerie Van Putten. As we continue now in other news, the Ministry of Public Health, Social Development, and Labor, VSA, through the assistance of the St. Martin Trust Fund, has started the process of designing and developing an integrated social registry system, the ISRS. Once completed, this system will be a primary resource in effectively providing social assistance to the most vulnerable residents of our communities. Director of the NRPB is Mr. Claret Connor, and he spoke to our news department.
Well, yes, on October 14th, the contract with the Computech was signed in the presence of the Minister of Social Affairs, the Honorable Minister Panafleck. And this particular contract with Computech, a local company, local digital company, is for them to design a digital platform for the social registry. So it's called an Integrated Social Registry System. And the ISRS is a system that would allow, provide government the ability to establish a digital platform on which all of the social services then can be managed from and placed on. What is very important in this system is the fact that it would help government to be in a position after disasters, whether it's hurricanes, pandemics like we're going through now, or any other disaster, be prepared to respond to the social needs very, very quickly and very efficiently. One of the things that we have been doing as an implementation unit in regards to the trust fund has been a lot of physical goods and services. So we've been building buildings, repairing schools, repairing police stations, building homes for individuals or rebuilding homes for individuals. But what we are doing now is designing a system, a digital system for the social fabric of this country, and in that build a type of resilience where this country can bounce back quickly within the different neighborhoods that you have where persons may have particular needs. What it does, it provides government with the ability to respond to the most vulnerable social needs of this country. In addition to that, it also provides data to government where government now can, in advance of any kind of disaster or even any kind of particular challenge that the government and the country may have up-to-date information on the different communities, how people are, where they are, what their social status is, and what the need for them would be. Not only from the point of well, I should say from all aspects: social needs, financial needs, medical needs, physical needs, and I think that's what a system like this is very important for the country in terms of its ability to provide information and obviously to bounce back when we are challenged, and then also that when persons go and present information to government, they don't have to go back 4 and 5 and 6 times to do the same thing, because then the information is captured in this digital environment, preserved, and government uses this, and the person as well can use the information that government has when they go back. For instance, they won't have to walk with all of these documents and provide ID card and passport numbers and those type of requests that they would have, registration papers and stuff like that. That takes a lot of time, not only in terms of requesting it, but also in terms of getting it, because sometimes you have to stand in line. So all of that can be eliminated by this social registry system. And then the system there, all of, the ministry would have to do, or the department would have to do, is ensure that it's up to date, because it's in a digital platform. When census is done, the information that is provided from a census can be uploaded into this data system, and then the access of the different types of information that is being recorded then can be updated based on that particular census in years to come.
And in more news at this time, representatives of the Chamber of Commerce and Industry Board And the executive management met with the Princess Juliana International Airport Operating Company, PJIAE management team regarding the involvement of local companies during the rebuilding process of the airport. The Chamber of Commerce and PJIAE have a good understanding and awareness of the local business landscape, and therefore the inclusion of local partners in the rebuilding is essential during these challenging economic times for the country. During the meeting, the airport representatives explained the process that was to be launched for the reconstruction of the damages caused by Hurricanes Irma and Maria. The Chamber would like to point out that the airport, as a government-owned company, is going the extra mile to promote and encourage local contractors to take part and register the company to be eligible for possible joint ventures or subcontracting with larger or main contractors. It is very important to have local companies participate, not only for the economic value of keeping the capital on island, but also the knowledge of maintenance of the airport infrastructure, since the airport will need to be maintained continuously in order to meet international standards on both safety and quality. The Chamber of Commerce advises companies to make sure the following areas are up to date in order to prepare for partnerships: checking liability policies, meeting with the bank to determine the financial position and means of the company in the case of equipment purchase, additional payroll, operational costs, etc. Update the company's information and/or register at the SZV, Labor Office, the Chamber of Commerce, and the Tax Department. Some additional pointers are: update the company's website or any social media profile or profiles, profile the company, products and/or services, experience, staff, references, resume, past partnerships, etc. Start looking for partnerships and sign a project-based Memorandum of Understanding, an MOU. President Benjamin Ortega sees this as a much-needed avenue to assist the local economy, especially after the national downturn as a result of COVID-19. The Supervisory Board said in a statement on Tuesday. The release reads in part. And in other news at this time, Minister of Education, the Honorable Rodolphe Samuel, gave an update on the coronavirus and the new norm of distance learning. The minister said that as it relates to the preferred method of education delivery, 13% of primary school teachers and 27% of secondary school teachers indicated blended or a hybrid approach.
On August 10, 2020, the public and subsidized schools on St. Martin embarked on a journey of distance learning due to the spike in COVID-19 cases and community transmission. Many schools began their orientation process with students and parents, as well as attempted to make contact with all students via various online platforms or by phone call. To gain a better understanding of what distance learning comprises of on the forefront, the Division of Inspection for the Ministry of Education, Culture, and Sports conducted a survey of primary and secondary education teachers. The survey was active from September 24th until September 30th, 2020, and was filled in by a total of 264, which is 80% primary school teachers, and also 133 of 268, which is also about 50% secondary school teachers, representing all subsidized school boards and the Division Public Education. When asked to rate their health, the majority, which is 64% of primary and secondary school teachers, indicated to be healthy. The second highest category in which teachers rated their health was low or medium risk. 27% of primary school teachers and 22% of secondary school teachers rated themselves in this category. 9% of primary school teachers and 14% of secondary school teachers described themselves as being high risk. The majority of teachers indicated that they were in contact with their students for 3 to 4 sessions daily, and across the board, the data predominantly illustrated that students are participating with minor distractions or challenges. The data indicated strongly that overall technical issues related to devices and or internet was the major challenge during distance learning. But despite that challenge, most students were submitting their assignments. Teachers indicated that they generally felt supported by their school boards, school management. The overall rating of schools received from their school boards and teachers was good. As it relates to the preferred method of education delivery moving forward, 13% of primary school teachers and 27% of secondary school teachers indicated blended or hybrid approach. This refers to an approach in which education is delivered in person and via distance online. 50% of primary school teachers and 25% of secondary school teachers indicated the staggered approach. In this approach, students return to school at different times during the day. 12% of primary school teachers and 18% of secondary school teachers indicated only vulnerable to return, and 11% of primary school teachers and 17% of secondary school teachers indicated to remain fully online, whereas 14% of primary school teachers, 13% and 13% of secondary school teachers indicated all students should return to school. When asked how ready teachers are to return to face-to-face instructions, 25% of primary school teachers and 27% of secondary school teachers indicated to be ready. 50% of primary school teachers and 46% of secondary school teachers indicated to be ready, but are scared for their health. 6% of primary school teachers and 16% of secondary school teachers indicated they are not ready to return, and 19% of primary school teachers and 11% of secondary school teachers indicated they are unsure.
Now, turning to our weather forecast for October the 28th, 2020, moisture and instability associated with a mid to upper level trough and an approaching tropical wave will cause cloudiness, scattered showers, and isolated thunderstorms across the region. Persons in flood-prone areas should be vigilant, as seas are expected to peak at 9 feet during the next few days. Small craft operators and sea bathers should continue exercising caution. So the outlook through Friday midday, partly cloudy and breezy with isolated showers possible. Now let's turn to your 3-day forecast. And still to come, one case of COVID detected at the administrative city Rue Jean-Jacques Fayel in Concordia. We'll have the details to that story when SXM Daily News returns.
The innovative Banco Matico contactless smart card. Your Banco Matico smart card is now equipped with a contactless feature for payments, so get ready to tap and go. Contactless payments are fast, easy, secure, and accepted worldwide at all Maestro-enabled contactless terminals. Tap for transactions equivalent to or less than 100 NAF, or the US dollar equivalent. You will receive notifications via email anytime you tap. Tap, tap, and pay fast. Fast with WIB. For more information, visit our website at wib-bank.net. Tap and go with your partner in progress.
And welcome back, viewers. And as we continue now with more news in this COVID-19 related item, as of October the 27th, there were 3 persons who tested positive for COVID-19. However, there was a recovery rate of 4 persons, bringing the active cases to 56. The total number of confirmed cases is now 792. The Collective Prevention Services, CPS, are monitoring 49 people in home isolation. 6 patients remains hospitalized at the St. Martin Medical Center, and 1 patient is isolated and is being monitored. The total number of deaths due to COVID-19 remains at 22. The number of people recovered since the first case surfaced on St. Martin has increased to 714. 109 people are in quarantine based on contact tracing investigations carried out by CPS of persons who may have been in contact with any of the active cases. CPS has tested 1,194 travelers arriving at the Princess Juliana International Airport and 5,565 people throughout the community. As the numbers continue to fluctuate, CPS will continue to actively execute its contact tracing measures. As the island continues working towards reducing the spread of the virus, Public Health Minister Panafleck encourages all to remain alert and wear your masks in public, practice the 2-meter social distancing, sanitize and wash your hands frequently, and refrain from mass gatherings. And in other news, the Minister of Justice, the Honorable Anna Richardson, sent out love, light, and support to all breast cancer survivors and warriors. The minister also addressed the issue of vehicles driving on the boardwalk.
I take a moment to send love, light, and support to all breast cancer warriors, survivors, and to the family and loved ones of those who has transitioned. Following a recent incident over the weekend whereby a child was almost ran over by the driver of a SUV on the boardwalk, the police, with the help of technical surveillance, managed to identify the vehicle and the driver. Steps are being taken within the authority of the law for the reckless behavior. The Ministry of Romi, Tayat, and Justice continues to press forward with a structured solution and approach to restrict access to the boardwalk entirely for motor vehicles, with the exception of emergency services. In the very near future, additional road signage will be placed at the alleyways on Front Street that leads to the boardwalk. Several warnings have been issued to the general public, prohibiting the operation of all motor vehicles on the boardwalk. In addition, motorists have been also reminded that parking on sidewalks on Front Street and Back Street is a traffic violation, and it goes against the traffic ordinance of St. Martin. After much planning and organization within the coming days, the community can expect to see an increase in controls, and all towed vehicles will be at the expense of the vehicle owner.
And as we end this edition of SXM Daily News for you this evening, in news out of French St. Martin, the Collectivité of St. Martin is informing the public of exceptional closure today, Wednesday, October 28, 2020, of the services of the Collectivité located at the administrative city Rue Jean-Jacques Fayel in Concordia. A case of COVID-19 was detected, and the Collectivité proceeded during the day to completely disinfect the premises in compliance with the health regulations in force. The Cité administration will reopen its doors to the public tomorrow, Thursday, October the 29th, 2020, at the usual times, which is 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. The other buildings of the Collectivité were not affected by this exceptional closure. And with that, viewers, it brings us to the end of this edition of SXM Daily News for this evening. I am Valerie Van Putten, thanking you so much for joining me this evening. And just a reminder that this and other programs are available online. Simply log on to stmartinmediacenter.com for viewing. And on behalf of the SXM Daily News team, we thank you so much for watching and plan on meeting you right back here again tomorrow.